Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. In the spirit of the trees, in the spirit of a living nature of which we're an integral part, with deep gratitude to all of our ancestors who have brought us to this present moment in the human journey, I want to welcome you to this session of Humanity Rising as we celebrate today International Peace Day. It's a time when the United Nations General Assembly meets in New York. It's a time when the nations of the world just pause to convene together, to think together, to speak together, and to contemplate on this day how they can work more harmoniously together toward world peace. As the Secretary General Antonio Guterres said just yesterday as he opened up the General Assembly, this is a time of deep danger for the human race. It's a time when we're facing what he called a winter of our discontent as the planet burns, as he put it, and the global geostrategic infrastructure is being assaulted due to the war in Ukraine, which looks like it is escalating and does not seem to be resolving itself very soon. So we have a world situation, he says, where the climate is exploding and our capacity to wage peace is imploding. And nevertheless, peace beckons us, peace challenges us. So we wanted to celebrate today with young people from around the world who are dedicating themselves to working toward peace in all kinds of imaginative and audacious ways. And our partner, as you know from last year, has been Masterpeace, one of the most progressive and imaginative and innovative young persons, peace organizations in the world that has youth groups worldwide. And today is going to be talking to us about a sky concert that they've been developing. And also we'll be opening today, not with our usual coherent breathing, but with a meditative ritual that they've been developing, which is very powerful. And it's just another pathway to calming our souls at this time of chaos and focusing our intentions for what we need to do in a global situation in which every choice matters. Every person matters. And it is a time where youth can and should be leading us, as we all know they can. So it's my pleasure to introduce Raghda, who you all know, and she's one of the principals at Masterpeace. She comes from Egypt, now living in the Netherlands. I had the opportunity and the pleasure of meeting her and Art Bos, the founder of Masterpeace, just a few weeks ago in Amsterdam. So Raghda, with great pleasure, I turn the program over to you.
Thanks, Jim. And we're very inspired by the usual opening, which is really harmonizing our breathing together and setting the meditation. But this time for the International Day of Peace, we will do it a little bit differently, but still in synchronicity. I invite everyone to join us in the global heartbeats that we all beat as one person, and I will show you how you can do it. And I hope that you join us from wherever you are, from your living room, your houses, your offices, or anything, maybe in the forest, like you, Jim. So basically, we going to do a global heartbeat as one. So basically very simple, and you will see some amazing footages from all over the world where we invited our masterpieces to do. So place your left hand on your heart. That's, all of us closer together, and just simple with the right hand that we do this movement all together, creating one global heartbeat. I'm imagining that all the way from sunrise to sunset. Started in Australia actually this morning, passing all the way through Asia, Europe, Africa, and in a few hours in Latin America, they're going to join us in the global heartbeat, all united as one. It's a message that we all beat as one person. Yeah, that's it. I hope that you joined us in creating that heartbeat, or in one of our Sky concerts worldwide, doing so. And I will start, we will explain a little bit about the Sky concerts and our celebrations for the International Day of Peace in almost 200 locations around the world. And you just joined them by that heartbeat. But I will start with our first speaker all the way from Brazil, Francine, who is with us today, who will explain a little bit about her School of the Impossible, the great work they are doing in Brazil, very related to your opening, Jim, with the challenges of the planet, but also joining with kids and young adults in tackling some of these challenges, and also joining the Sky concert with their own class. Francine will explain a little bit about her work and the beautiful artwork they created with the students in Brazil and Scotland and different parts of the world, hopefully. So I give you the floor, Francine, to show us a little bit about your work, and then we can have a chat about the Sky concert just right after.
Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for inviting me to be part of this amazing celebration. My name is Francine. I'm the artistic director of Plateau Cultural. Today I am calling from the unceded lands of Mibiata e Rocá, Guarani people, now known as Florianópolis, Santa Catarina, Brazil. Just to give a little bit of background, the School of the Impossible is a project by my company, Plateau Cultural. We create playful and immersive experiences in education, searching for new ways of learning and connecting to the world through imagination and through play. So School of the Impossible was born in the beginning of 2021 when ITAC, the International Teaching Artists Collaborative, accepted the challenge to become the first SOS agents and selected us to become ITAC, Climate Commissioned Artists. And so the adventure started, and back then it was just a rough idea on the paper and an invitation to discover how this idea could unfold.
Sorry, Francine, to interrupt you. Are we supposed to see something yet? Because we just see a gray image, a gray screen right now.
Okay. So you can't see any slides at all?
No, we just saw a gray screen.
Okay, let's start again. I'll try another time.
Make sure to also select the video and the audio.
Can you see?
Yes, let me go back
right.
to where we wanted to start.
Yeah, can you see?
Sure to have yes, I see now SOS.
Yeah, I was talking before. I was just showed this, so it's not a problem. Okay, so together with ITAC, we transformed this impossible project into possible, and we believe that the world needs impossible ideas and out-of-the-box solutions, and the world needs artists. And that was confirmed when we had to sit in front of the Secretary of Education of San Jose at his office in the government. And we had the courage to tell him about this idea, which was still just an idea. And for our surprise, he was the second agent to accept the mission. He said, yes, we want and we need that. So they opened their doors and they understood that that was a co-creation process and that we were building something new together, all of us. So this collaborative process was shaped by a few important elements. So as I just mentioned, co-creation. So this sense of ownership for the project by all people involved, including people from different parts of the world, which made us feel connected to a supportive global network. Measuring impact. So we planned the assessment from the beginning, and this helped us to structure and to understand how artistic work can have a social impact, and that shaped our creative process. So having our lenses adjusted to envision social impact became part of the creative process. So the creative process had the assessment plan in mind. So this way of working originated from this exchange with ITAC, is now the way we create and we develop all projects at Plateau Culture. Yeah, so this is what happened.
Uma estante de livros com uma carta da Massami falando tipo que pra gente conseguir ajudar o planeta e tentar abrir o portal. Na outra terça-feira, sim, a gente conheceu as professoras agentes da SOS. A gente estava lá estudando, né, na sala de aula, e do nada apareceu umas moças entrando com uma estante e falaram que era um portal. Aí a gente ganhou uma carta.
Francine, I don't think we can see the video.
Foi numa terça.
Really? Are you not watching it?
I saw it.
Was it going?
On my end, it was going, but maybe here you're not. I don't know. People reporting they didn't see it. Weird.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah, were you watching it? Were you able to listen and to watch the video?
No. Also, I couldn't see it. So yeah, only sound is fine, but no video. Yeah.
We can try again. Then make sure you select share video.
Okay.
Share it with that selected.
Foi numa terça-feira, a gente do nada chegou a um portal, uma estante de livros com
so funny. We
uma
tried this
carta da
before and it
Massami.
worked. So you have to select, optimize the video and share audio.
Yeah,
it's weird because before that we tried it out, it worked.
Yeah. Okay.
Try one more time.
Foi numa terça-feira, a gente do nada chegou a um portal, uma estante de livros.
Let me try something different. I'll try to do it straight from YouTube. Or I can just jump it to the next part and not show the video as well. Sorry about that. Okay. Right, so less time. Let's go. Right. Well, now? Yes? No?
Still great. Something wrong with some of your browser or anything?
No?
No, not working.
Yeah, okay. It's a shame. Right, so I'll just carry on without showing the video. I can send the links afterwards. Okay, so the whole project lies in the idea of bringing a fictional road to the classroom, where the kids engage and become protagonists. So the more they dive into the imaginative road, the more they see and perceive the road with renewed eyes. So we act in reality through the imaginary road. So them being protagonists of the experience nurtures an agency for their learning process and for their active relationship with the world around them. So with the young groups, we want to create a sense of seeing the everyday as the magical, the mythical, and the imaginative. Through this process, we provoke in the young generation a sense that the world is something playful, creative, and possible to change. Another element for the projects is using art as a means, as a way of doing, learning as a natural part of the childhood world, the idea of them being protagonists of this experience. So protagonists explore, discover, and make sense of what they learn. And of course, the power.
We still see a gray screen somehow. We don't see your presentation.
Now?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so I was just showing this. So I was, just like going through some elements of the project, and some other elements of the project, such as like art as a means, as a way of doing, learning as a natural part of the childhood world, and the idea of them being protagonists. And protagonists explore, discover, and make sense of what they learn, and the ruthless power of play. So here's a picture of them being agents of SOS. Another video, which I think is not going to work. So the next one.
A gente teve que falar com os golfinhos para.
Can you listen to this one, or should I just go to the next one?
Your choice. I know people don't understand Portuguese, so I don't think it makes sense to listen. I'm afraid that they don't understand Portuguese.
The subtitles in the video.
Yeah, we can't see those.
Oh, yeah, okay, no problem. So yeah, the missions, so the action points, the experience is divided into 8 episodes, and which happens throughout 2 months, and each episode has both a narrative and a pedagogical action. So actions that need to happen in order to the narrative and the learning to advance. And the structure of the program in relation to what the kids learn in each episode was designed, guided by online meetings with climate scientist Diana Lieberman. So it's the idea of starting from an intimate perception of the road in relation to nature and climate change, going for the exploration of the problem in relation to their local community, and expanding to the understanding of the impact of it on a global scale that actions in the local environment can have. So we champion this environmental activist concept of act global, act local, creating young change makers at a local level and connecting them with other change makers globally. So after the pilot, we are currently running the project in 4 schools in Wishaw in Scotland and more schools in Brazil, in a total of 15 cohorts. So the project has a narrative structure that can be translated and adapted to each location and community, valuing local needs and the local environment, as well as training local teachers to facilitate the project in their communities. So this assures both sustainability and scalability to the project in the long term. Yeah, so this is a quote that we really like. I think it translates a lot of what we do.
Sorry, I can play the video if that you want to play now. We don't see right now any.
Yeah, I'm kind of finishing now, but if you think it's, I can share the link with you and you can play. Would that be nice? Yeah. Here's the link for the video. Yeah, I'm just going to wrap up just answering one of the questions that about today's event. What is peace to me? I like to answer the question. I like the metaphor of blind man and the elephant, in which 5 blind people touch in different parts of the elephant, and each person argues that it is a different thing. We can fight, or we can agree that these are different perspectives of the world and be in peace with that. That in that way, we might be able to see we can see the whole picture together. So it's better that if we can collaborate. So learning to listen might be a good way forward, and that extends to non-human voices and perspectives, and also perspectives from other cultures that might have the wisdom we need to change the world. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about all the technical problems, and I wish I had a chance to show all the footage, because I think that speaks much more than me talking here. But unfortunately, the technology wasn't on my side today. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Francine, so much. And yeah, that happens, but we felt it from the heart, actually. And if there is a chance, we can also play the video on your behalf. I think we have the link. So our technical host, maybe you're capable of showing it. So because I see in the chat, a lot of people would love to see it, and it's very imaginative. And as Francine explained, it really involves the students in sending messages to their future self or to the future from their existing now as part of the play. And many of these classes joined the Heartbeat and the Sky concert. So maybe we can play briefly the clip, minding the time, and then we can go back to explaining a little bit about Sky concert and showing you some of the footages from different Sky concerts around the world that is taking place. So can we play the
School of the
video?
Impossible? The School of the
Yes.
Impossible, that clip? Okay, I can share.
Impressive. And I'm very happy that we get to see it, Francine, eventually. Thank you so much. And a little bit a message from the heart today on the International Day of Peace. In Masterpeace, we have been celebrating this day, and we call it the United Nations Best Kept Secret. I don't think it's a secret anymore, since so many organizations along the past few years started together celebrating this day, or season, as we call it in Masterpeace. Every year we celebrate together as we are a growing movement with an international campaign, one concept, one idea, one global heartbeat, across sunrise to sunset, as the Masterpeace teams grow. But not only Masterpeace teams, as we see, we have also Masterpeace partners, who are some of them joining us, like Francine and Edward, who's later going to speak and tell us a little bit about his work as well. It's a dream come true. I think around 2015, I was very inspired personally by the last performance of the Beatles on the rooftop as a band. They continued their career individually, but they came together for one last time on a rooftop concert. They called it the rooftop concert, and they played for the last time. I had that dream. What if we united the rooftops around the world with the message of peace and hope under one sky, and blasting music? How would it look? How would it happen around the world? And I was joined by a lot of my colleagues in that same dream, thinking, why not on the International Day of Peace, we celebrate around the world with stages. It could be a rooftop or any open space under one sky. And especially it was more relevant after COVID and lockdowns. Everyone wanted to go out, but still feel safe in celebrating. So we started since a few months ago on that mission to have a campaign where we mobilize for now 200 events around the world as sky concerts. But the question came, how can we unify all these concerts around the world? They will look differently. It could be in a backyard. It could be in a university campus. It could be at the rooftop of the UNESCO. But how all of these concerts will be unified. And in a challenge of some talents, they came up with an idea of a global heartbeat. So wherever you are, however you celebrate the sky concert under your sky, we could all be connected if we have this global heartbeat all at the same time. Which is actually happening now, even for a few weeks before the celebration. A lot of schools joined, universities, even the police in Nepal joined. We couldn't imagine how many people around the world joined in that one peace call. Just bring a band, some music under the sky, and just do the global heartbeat. We are actually in the middle of it right now. This dream happening all the way, as I said, from Australia all the way to Ecuador. And it was very special that we had this message from someone who is very related to the sky concert and the rooftop concerts. I'll play it for you. I hope I have a little bit of a better luck than my dear Francine.
I can play it for you.
You can play it. Yeah, so I will see if I can play it, and if not,
no, it's fine. I have it here.
You have the message.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm happy to reveal it's a kind of a premiere on the live streaming, a message from an iconic moment, I would say. So I'll give it to you to help me with playing that message to everyone who's watching us.
Three, two, one. Peace and love. Peace and love, everybody. Peace peace and love on this International Day of Peace, and peace and love to all the masterpieces around the world who are giving rooftop sky concerts today, inspired by our rooftop concerts all of those years ago, peace and love. But we're still here, brother, peace and loving. And the same spirit creating a wave of peace and love over the earth, like I do every year on my birthday, peace and love. I want to thank each of you for all you're doing to support peace, because we can't do enough. Peace and love. And I truly believe one day the whole world will go peace and love, and my heart will beat steady. Peace and love, everybody.
Wow. The man himself, it was very iconic. It is very iconic for us in Masterpeace. We're very grateful that Ringo Starr himself from the Beatles was really inspired by all the Masterpeace work and Masterpeace and partners, I have to say, celebrating Sky Concert, coming together for peace, message of peace and love, of hope and togetherness, but most importantly, trigger peace actions around the world. We don't see it as only a celebration, which is great to come together and celebrate life, celebrate peace, but at the same time to trigger actions and plan sustainable actions for the future, bringing communities together, artists, volunteers, change makers, peacemakers from all around the world. And I will not talk for too long, since I have some of my colleagues who are also working on Sky Concerts in different regions around the world. And I will start with Asia. You guys started already earlier than the rest of the world, and you planned so many beautiful Sky Concerts. I invite my colleague Ashwini to explain a little bit about the efforts that is happening in Asia, and also the challenges that comes with organizing such massive events. Ashwini, please tell us a little bit about how's it going in Asia.
Hi, thank you, Raghda, and hello, everyone. So, feels so good to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. And my name is Ashwini Dhakal. I'm originally from Nepal. Recently, last 2 days, I came to Netherlands for a program to celebrate peace. And so it's so good to be here. And yeah, and also after beginning everything, I will start with saying Happy International Peace Day to everyone. And I hope this day not only stays only for this day, but in we can celebrate peace as for a whole 365 days and always. So from the Asia, also coming with the idea of Sky Concert, it was so pleasure to work with different organizations. Before that, I'll give a little bit of background about what I do. So I'm in Masterpeace, and I look in the Asia region. So we have almost 15 clubs who are working on the grassroots level in different fields. It is education, health, gender equality, art, music, in different areas. So they are working on the grassroots level with the local community. On those, there are certain core values, and they are doing a lot of campaigns, programs, events, and inspiring people. So through them, we mobilized the Sky Concert, and they invited other networks, we invited other networks. So in Asia only, we have almost 30 plus Sky Concerts. Some already happened 2 days back or since last week. Also 15 days ago, and some are happening now, this particular day, and few also happens even after today. So before explaining a little bit more, I will share a screen to show our Sky Concert map all over the world. Where are we doing? So here we go. Yeah, and you can see, and maybe this could be like not the latest version, and you can see the latest version in our website, masterpeace.org/Sky Concerts. And you can see here the location all over the world with different color. And also you can see the balloon flyover, and that it is carrying the message of hope, togetherness, and peace. to fly all over the world, because sky has no limit, right? So we can spread the message as much as we possible. And also in the Asia region, you can see we are organizing a lot, 30+. So this is our global map, and you can see all the updates in our website as well. And also we're happy to invite you to join in next year and also in days to come to collaborate in this the peace building process. It goes forever. Yeah, and so it's a peace day, and as a Sky concert, Sky has no limit, right? There is no limit. And also human beings, as human beings, their talents has no limit. So it's the question how we use that unlimited resources, the talents we have, to utilize now. Should we go and use a negative way to bring in war and extinct our civilization, or we present that unlimited opportunity for peace, love, togetherness, and collective development? So definitely we all can agree that we want to have that unlimited resources, our unlimited power for a collective way. So in that sense, I think peace for me is like, unity. It's a collective phenomena, and it's being together. And also I would like to share one African proverb, and I guess you all are familiar with it. Also, it says that if you want to go fast, you can go alone, but if you want to go far, you can go together, right? So we want to go far. And for us, peace is not only just for this day or particular moment, but we want to create forever. So our aim is to go really far. So for me, in that sense, we should be together, we should be collective, and co-creation is the best way. And as a Masterpeace, we do the same. So in Asia region, all those clubs, we could create some programs together. And later I will also share some example, what kind of action we are doing in that sense. And yeah, so, and also as a change maker, it's always good to know what you really want to see, what is your hope as a change maker. And I think myself, first I need to imagine, I need to visualize the change that I want to see that happens, right? Once you visualize it, then you can pass it to others, you can walk the talk. So in that sense, I believe we always can, the hope is to inspire others, because it's not only living yourself, always the hope is to inspire others, and they do the same. In that way, we can bring the changes in a bigger picture, not only within yourself. And that's my hope as a change maker. And I know a lot of change makers around the world are watching us in this particular International Day of Peace. So you are always welcome to co-creation, collaboration, and working together, not only in Asia region, but all over the world. In the days to come, you can always reach us out. So, and also I will not take much time. So in last part, I will share some of the example what in Asia we are doing, and what are the challenges, and how we are, as a Masterpeace Asia, we are coping with the challenges. So there are a lot of challenges, right? But to highlight some, one is in most part of the Asia, and also in South, I'm from South Asia, I know about them. So basically the basic needs as is and every human individual should have, like we say, education, health, food. In some of the vulnerable communities in India, in Nepal, or in South Asia in general, it's lacking. People are not even getting basic foods, basic health, basic education. So, and the main reason is the unstable politics and the politics of inequality, right? So that's the time of leaders. But what, as a change maker, we can do is, I believe the main thing is the education. That's how you change from the grassroots level to the top. And it's a long process, as I said, it's a collective process. So it may not happen within a year, within 2 years, but if we invest in education, then it goes forever. So what we are doing in the ground level, I will give a few examples. So we have a club in India, in Delhi. It's called Arohan. It's an Indian word. So it basically translates like climbing or how to say, mountain climbing. That's called Arohan. So that's their name. So what they are doing is, in their community, there are a lot of vulnerable community who are rat keepers, or who are even beggars, and they have children who cannot have education, or even after the school, they have to work. They have to go to street and work. The children has to work. So what they are doing is they established a center, a childcare center, where they provide education to those vulnerable communities. And also Peace for People from this organization in Nepal, they sponsor every year more than 300 students in the village area of Nepal, from class 1 till class 5, the primary level. And also they engage them through the global classroom concept to international students, and they're working on it. So they're educating on that level. Education is the key, and our clubs in the grassroots level are working. So that's what they're doing. And a second problem in South Asia is also a political problem, but we can relate in a socioeconomic way, is the socioeconomic disparity that have. And also I can say the freedom not in a sense of like a human rights or democracy level, but social economic stigmas, inequality, discrimination. Even some country, they have caste discrimination, like the upper caste, they feel the superior, and inferior always has to struggle. So there is a different diversity, but at the same time you can find the differences. So how we cope with the differences, and for this the main action is to raise the dialogue. And when we talk about the peace is not only about not having war, because that doesn't explain the peace alone. So peace is also how you dialogue, how you raise the dialogue, quality of dialogue, capacity of the dialogue, to inspire and to engage people in something positive. So for this part, we do a lot of dialogues. And one more thing I want to emphasize is we have to start doing little things. We always hope for the big, like leaders are saying, we have to do this, do that. That's the big things, but sometimes there's a chances that we negligence the small things. So even the small little details can bring a big changes. And one example lastly is we have a club in Bangladesh, and it's called Masterpeace Travelers. They are co-founded by 2 doctors. They are women, and they are women empowering organization. And what they do, from the name you see, travelers, so that they travel all over the Bangladesh within their own resources, and they do capacity building programs, they do trainings, they volunteer. So they inspire by traveling. So as I was discussing little things, one little things what they did is they give the training to the women to how to ride a scooter, because the scooter is a common way of vehicle in Bangladesh, also in Nepal, in India too. So normally women don't ride scooter, or they don't know how to ride. A society says, don't ride it. It's too risky. You are not strong enough to do this. But they want to flip the situation. So they give the training only for women to ride a scooter. So they have 2 scooters, and they can ride, they can teach whole day, whole months. It's small details, not a big project, but the impact it has is big. And we cannot see impact right now, but in the days to come, when they are mothers, they are teachers, they can pass that. So the small things really matters. And to have a peace all over the world, this kind of collective works, small things to bigger things, from one people to all over everyone, and from Asia to Africa, America, Europe. So it's the collective things. So I invite you, and it's so good to be here celebrating this particular day and with all of you. That's what I think about peace as a change maker, and also in the Asia region. I will not, sorry, we have more people, so I will pass it to our friend Edward, and we're also relaying this session. So Edward, I would like to invite you, and the floor is yours. And thank you for listening. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashwini, so much for explaining and giving an overview of our Masterpeace in Asia in general, not only for Sky Concert, but the amazing work that the clubs are doing around the world. And we invite you to visit masterpeace.org, and we will place in the chat where you can find us and get to know a little bit more about the Sky Concert and the map that Ashwini showed. It's an interactive map. But without further ado, as Ashwini introduced, Edward from the Learning Planet Institute, one of our favorite partners, if I might say, and together we worked on different projects, Edward, as part of Masterpeace and Learning Planet Institute as well. And you guys are having actually a sky concert with a Japanese orchestra as well. Is it happening outside? Are you hearing it? Are you going to tell us all about it? And at the same time, explain a bit about your amazing work as the Learning Planet Institute. Take it from there.
All right, thanks so much, Raghda. Firstly, the concert will be happening later today. It's a wonderful Franco-Japanese concert happening in Paris, and there's going to be some associated conversations happening around peace. I should just say, I mean, I think firstly, what's resonating with me a lot in what's emerging, I'm so grateful to be able to listen to the other speakers, is I just feel genuine gratitude and privilege to just have, I guess, the headspace to be able to reflect and think about peace and my relationship with peace on this International Day of Peace. And I know, and I'm sure a lot of us know, that for so many in the world, that is just, they don't have that luxury and that fortune on today of all days. So I'm keeping that in my thoughts as well, and just genuinely in awe of what's already been shared about organizations kind of collaborating and working on the day-to-day, supporting people on the ground in communities around the world through peace organization, peace education, rather. From my perspective, I'm coming into, I guess, this conversation, honestly, not as one such organization that works every day specifically on peace education. And it's for good reason, because there are some incredible organizations doing this already. I come from the perspective of a education network. So I'm with, as Raghda said, the Learning Planet Institute, which is a research institute in Paris around interdisciplinary sciences to try to tackle global issues. And the Institute, alongside UNESCO, created a couple of years back the Learning Planet Alliance, which is really an open alliance around the transformation of education and learning. And I'm coming into, I guess, this conversation from that approach of trying on the day-to-day to give space, showcase, connect the incredible organizations working day-to-day on specific core aspects in the transformation of education, none more so important than in peace. So immense gratitude to Masterpeace for their work on this, and for really advocating and pushing this within our network. To give a little bit of picture of how we try to engage with peace, we're learning planets. So we look at, from the perspective of learning, we have communities around the world, institutions, activists, universities, private organizations, social entrepreneurs, exploring or collaborating around youth game-changing programs, around higher education, climate education, arts in education, lifelong learning. I'll share a couple of links afterwards. But then we're increasingly, and we're learning through this process, we're missing a lot of the planet in this Learning Planet Alliance. And so we truly believe in a world of planetisms, you know, and seeing what we can do to build connection, build meaningful collaboration across borders, to learn to take care of ourselves, to take care of others, and to take care of the planet, and in that order as well. And so really just to give a bit of a picture of some of the things we've been trying to do, it starts with Masterpeace. We've been completely inspired by your work day in, day out to support young game changers across communities around the world. And so we've been discussing, and we hosted at our festival last year, which I'll share a bit more in a second, around how best to build inner peace for young game changers. Something we're learning, particularly with youth within our communities, is that there's this immense desire to make change, but peace isn't just something that emerges or that is in place in the exterior, but it really does begin in the interior as well. And so we've been exploring and sharing with our wider community of youth fellows or young game changers resources and approaches to build inner peace in ourselves, the relationship with ourselves, and the relationship with others in our communities. So I'll share a link in case you want to explore that a bit further, and would love to hear from others that are really advocating for, of course, wider peace education, but particularly the inner peace that we need in order to make sense of this immense chaos and challenge that we face on a day-to-day in the world, particularly for youth as well. In terms of the institution and on the ground, we've hosted in the past, in May, a hackathon for peace, which is was an international hackathon trying to bring together groups across the world in response in part to the devastation and challenge in Ukraine, to come up and to try to take this solutions-oriented approach to where can we advocate for and educate around peace. So I'll share a link in case you want to explore some of the initiatives that emerged from that hackathon. But one of them was around peace circles and hosting spaces where it is inclusive and supportive enough to be able, and vulnerable enough to be able to talk openly and across borders about our relationship with peace. And this actually has led to, there'll be a conversation tomorrow happening alongside our Sky concert as a next iteration of this peace circle. So we're also really looking to learn and connect those that are trying to facilitate these conversations, the vulnerable conversations around our individual relationship with peace. And just the last thing I'll say, because I really want to hear more and more as well from other partners, people, friends in this conversation, is we try to, as a wider international alliance, build and connect global mobilizations for social action. And so what's been a real joy this year is that we actually host alongside UNESCO the Education Day, the International Day of Education, with a festival across a week in January, with hundreds of organizations around the world hosting sessions, hackathons, performances around learning to take care of oneself, others, and the planet. And Masterpeace, I've been an incredible supporter of this over the past years. And what we discussed with them and other partners this year that organize around these immense international days for action is how can we ensure there are common threads that happen, for example, between the International Day of Education, between Earth Day, Youth Rights Day, Peace Day. And so we are building and supporting each other's initiatives as best as we possibly can. And I feel like this is only going to build over the years as more and more networks and communities really advocate and push for this truly authentic, radical collaboration, sharing of resources, sharing of space and of ideas. So I'll share a link about the festival in the chat, but we're so privileged to be able to take part in the events and the actions today. And then, yeah, I think I'll stop there, but just I'm immensely grateful to be in this space. And I guess just, I know we'll talk a bit more about our own relationship with peace, but I'm feeling and emerging from this conversation, you know, for me, peace is just the chance to the right to feel at home as an individual, as a family, and as a community. And already in this conversation today, seeing everything being shared, everything learned so far, I truly feel at home. So thanks so much to the Ubiquity team for hosting these incredible conversations on the day-to-day as well. And looking forward to working, learning alongside you in the months ahead. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Edward, so much for sharing and the work of Learning Planet Institute. And definitely, everyone, please check Days of Action, especially the International Day of Education with the Learning Planet Festival, which we were part of last year and very happy to be partners again this year. Edward, one last question, because you said you also had a bit of reflection about your relationship with peace today, and you went inward and you have a concert for peace at the end of the day. One question that comes to mind is what actually peace means to you, you know, with that reflection. What did you find out? What is your relationship to peace?
I think honestly, and this is something that I've done workshops before around just writing haikus for our relationship to peace, and it's quite it pushes you to reduce things down into really small amount of words. But one of them, and what keeps resonating, is just the right to feel at home. And I'm finding and learning more about this, particularly with the youth community that we have across the world, that for them, the right to feel at home might be just the ability to have an internet connection to exit their local context of challenges, devastation, conflict, and just be able to feel at home with fellow youth. The right to feel at home might just be knowing that there is a space in your day when you can feel at ease and silence. And so I was really grateful for the heartbeat meditation earlier today. And I think a right to home is just feeling like, or to a peace, or right to home is feeling there's a community that can accept you and that can work alongside you. And so initiatives like having, say, Masterpeace youth clubs around the world, I know as an individual when I was younger, that power of just having even a small group that can give you that haven of peace and feeling of home, which I know is something not necessarily possible for a lot of families. So I guess these are very much evolving, iterative thoughts that come to me, but would love to hear what resonates and what other people associate with peace as well.
Thank you, Ed, so much for your message. And before I come to the last but not least powerhouse journalist and a fellow strong Middle Eastern woman who also represents the continent of Africa in our conversation today, Maryam from Morocco. I would love to play a small clip that we brought together from different heartbeats that were happening around the world. We did the edit a bit as we go because we're collecting the videos. So we will play just a short clip to give you a little bit of a taste of how it feels worldwide, and I will play it. Please confirm that you see the image as I share my screen, and hopefully
I have it here as well, the Sky concert.
Oh, that is better than me sharing it. So if you can play it, so we give everyone a little bit of a sneak peek of what everyone is up to with Global Heartbeats.
Clapping and allowing their heartbeat to move to celebrate peace. It's crazy to see all these faces, beautiful people joining
from all over the world, right, Maryam? What we have been dreaming, thinking about, and a lot of amazing heartbeats, also from Africa. It's our
Yes.
favorite.
Yes. What a beautiful day. Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm really inspired by all the work that have been put in for the last couple of months into this vision. Some has been thinking about this vision for the past 5 years, some 2 years, some like months. And we will finally have decided as Masterpeace how we're going to have this Sky concert as this year's campaign for the International Day of Peace. When I shared it with our clubs in Africa, we have over 23 clubs now in Africa. They always inspire us, they always motivate us. And of course, when we talk about Africa, there's a lot of challenges. To mention the least, the connectivity problems. So when we were gathering the heartbeat videos, it was with a lot of hardship, but a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. So it is a perfect statement and a perfect representative of how it is in African region. So despite everything, despite the hurdles, the hustles, the most rewarding feeling as a youngster, as a girl in Africa, as a Moroccan, is to see all of these beautiful heartbeat videos, these beautiful Sky concert events taking place in Africa. So from Morocco to Cameroon to Uganda, South Africa, West Africa, East Africa, we've seen a lot of beautiful heartbeat videos and also a lot of Sky concert events that is taking place right now and after the upcoming days. So when we talk about peace, we talk about our essence, we talk about our root, we talk about our origins, and it transcends borders, it transcends our differences. And this is the occasion to remind ourselves one more time what we do this. Because I really feel and I really believe that peace is contagious. And we as youngsters, we as masterpieces, as partners, we carry the torch into spreading this fever of wanting to peace to really take over the negativity that's going on around the world. And when I talk about Morocco or Africa in general, there's a lot of negativity, or there's a lot of issues or challenges in my region. But the most, I think, the most challenging hurdle is actually negativity. So as Ashwini mentioned, which is my colleague, he mentioned that we've been taught to not do a lot of things out of fear, out of negativity, out of bad feelings. So it is now urgent more than ever to spread the words of positivity and to also spread the optimism that this is not like a status. This is not like a bad period. This is we are alive. We are here. We are in this planet, and we have the means to be the ambassadors of peace. Every moment, every action counts. Every movement counts. Every statement that we make counts. And I don't really believe in any discourse of negativity or fear. I really believe that I'm an optimistic person. I really believe that together, all of us, we can win and we can finally be at peace. And like I said, peace is our essence, is in our root. And I believe that one day we will be back to ourselves. We will be back to what we all started from and we are all originated from. And thanks to Masterpeace, I can see that. I see it with now hundreds of Sky concerts happening around the world, across a lot of regions, a lot of countries. And it is really amazing that to see. It was just an idea for my colleague Raghda. I was thinking about it in 2015, and now it is happening. So there's a lot of positivity that really outshines the negativity that has been taken over the news, over our minds in general. So I'm really happy and I'm really grateful and inspired by all the works that has been done. And of course, especially in the region of Africa, we have received a lot of amazing work. And despite the challenges, they all are holding a great optimism, a great love for peace, a great love to overcome the negativity and just aim for a better day. And I really feel that it is not in the future, but it is in the present. So thank you so much for hosting me. I won't take much of your time. And thank you, my fellows, Raghda and Ashwini, for this great session. I'm really inspired and I can wait to carry this with me as long as I can breathe. Thank you.
Thank you, Maryam, so much. And it's beautiful, your words. And I'm especially inspired by going back to who we are, going back to our roots. And I'm curious, Maryam, you're such always a positive force also within Masterpeace. And I'm always intended to ask you, as a change maker, what is your challenges also that faces Morocco, but the region, and what you think should be done about it?
Yes, so I think there's a lot of challenges because when we talk about Morocco, we need to talk about what part of Morocco you're in, either the south or the north, and we also talk about what gender you're in, because it really depends, the challenge depends on a lot of varieties, and being a young female in the south of Morocco really has its own challenges. But again, being an optimistic person, I see them as a way to overcome them, how I can overcome them. Of course, we have been, I was raised in a culture with a lot of misconception, a lot of judgment. Also, as a hijabi woman, there's a lot of also misconception and limits. So I have a fluid mind and I have a fluid way of doing what I believe in. I always had this idea of being part of something bigger than me, and I set no limits for myself, and I know that this is what gives me hope, this is what gives me life, and no one can stop me. And of course, by doing so, I inspire a lot of people, whether with Masterpeace or with the Association for Female Journalists. So I really believe that we all embark on our own journey. And of course, when we talk about journey, we do not talk about individual journey. You inspire a lot of people on your way, and vice versa. You get inspired by a lot of people, and it is essential to always try to inspire as much as possible, and to not let what is set to limit you basically. So be fluid and flexible and limitless as much as possible.
And what is your message for peace?
Yes. So my message for peace, like I mentioned, when I see peace, I see it is something of a beginning, something that we started from, something like we initiated from. It's our source. So I believe that it is the moment that we can use this day as a day of reflection, how we can go back to our roots, how we can be all peaceful, and how we can also find that inner peace in ourselves in order to also shine it outside.
Beautiful, as always, Maryam. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, dear.
For joining, and everyone, all our speakers, to you, Ed, Ashwini, and Francine for joining this. But last but not least, thank you to the Humanity Rising. For the third year in a row, we celebrate together with your own community the International Day of Peace, and following the chat and the enthusiasm from everyone chiming in with their idea of what peace means to them, and sharing their actions towards peace, which matters. We see peace as the umbrella term where all the SDGs or all the concepts fits in, from quality of education, gender equality, climate change, all these actions towards a better future for everyone. The theme for this year is One Sky, One Planet, One Future. And we urge everyone to think about that. What do action, even one action, one day that positively impact our future. And special thanks to you, Jim, in inspiring us as Masterpiecers and the whole community with actions. And thank you for hosting us on this amazing platform year after year. And hopefully we celebrate together more action days, as Edward said, and triggering the community to work together. Final famous words to you, but with a gratitude in our heart and one heartbeat from Masterpiece to you.
Thank you so much, Raghda. And it would be wonderful if all of you could turn on your videos so we could just chat for a minute so everybody could see you. There you go there, Maryam. I really appreciated what you said, Maryam, just to start the conversation, that peace is our essence. And I've been mindful of the experience of the woman in Iran over the last couple of days, the funeral of Misha Amini, who was literally, according to reports, beaten to death by the morality police there in Iran for not wearing the proper hijab. And I was just thinking of her as I was watching you. You're so young and beautiful and vivacious and alive, and I'm sure she was as well. So that the contradictions that all of you are living through, I know, Raghda, you come from Egypt, and it became very challenging for you to even stay in Egypt, given your commitment to peace. So I just want to note for everyone that these young people are not just airy-fairy, isn't it nice that we can all have peace, but they're making an existential commitment with their lives in the midst of obstacles and challenges. And I'm sure Ashwini and Edward, you have your own stories, which I'd like to just, we don't have a lot of time, but starting with you, Maryam, and then Raghda, I would just like to hear more about the deeper layers of commitment and how they have emerged in your life, given the real challenges that you faced. I mean, Raghda, for you to leave your country of origin because of your commitment, and Maryam, to be there in southern Morocco. These are powerful lives that you're leading, and I just want to hear more from each of you about the challenges you face and the commitment that's deepened thereby. Maryam.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Raghda. I think for me, what helps me the most is, especially during like dark times or challenges, is you always have to be reminded that it's not about you as a person, because if it is about you, then you quit. It's easy to quit. It's the easiest thing you can do. Yeah. So if you think that you're carrying on a lot of representation of, not in a way that it pressures you, but a way that motivates you. So if you think that, okay, let me be the first girl to do this or that, and let me do it with, because there's also a lot of misconception about covering up. So you can also, it's a two-way process of, okay, let me still be what I believe that I am, but I refuse what I want to refuse. So it takes bravery to cherry pick what works for you as an individual, no matter what you believe in. So it really helps, especially like I said, to always set yourself like the standard for how it's going to be, how you want to live, how you think other people like you, who feel like you, should be living. And that gives you the motivation to look beyond the challenges, because if we let the challenges really hurt us and cripple us, then yeah, you can just sit and blame the society, blame everything that evolved you, and you will ended up blaming your existence, which you have no control over. So that circle, I tried as I grow older to break the circle and appreciate more why I'm here, why I do what I do, and how many people I can inspire as much as possible. So if you think about stepping out of the cycle of the negativity and thinking more of your worth, your possibilities, your own possibilities within yourself, then you can really thrive and see you can gain a whole new perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Very inspiring. Thank you so much. Raghda.
Yeah, I find it easier, the roads with people like Maryam, powerful women that I'm also honored to be surrounded by, but also the peace change makers around the world. It's a conversation that soothes the heart when I have a conversation with my colleagues in Nepal or in Ecuador, and seeing all the beautiful actions. It feels that the loneliness of the roads of change making, of trying to contribute to a better world, even in challenging of times and challenging societies, makes it easier, gets you inspired. But also, I have to admit that it's not always easy, especially with also knowing about such incidents like in Iran or different parts of the world. It makes us feel also that we fail sometimes as humanity, not only as change makers. We fail our brothers and sisters. We fail the planet, which is the bigger challenge. So these things we think, okay, Europe passed through war, never again, and then it returns back. So sometimes with 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, you have 10 steps back. But personally, I keep the lighting source, which is the inspirations from change makers, and sometimes tuning into Humanity Rising also helps at 5 p.m. That's basically what I really feel about it, Jim.
Thank you so much, Raghda. I've so appreciated your leadership over the last several years. It's been very inspiring. So I just want to acknowledge Raghda in this program. You're a real leader and a real committed change maker, and we all respect and love you very much. Ashwini, what would be your comment about some of the challenges and the perspective that you have coming out of your own life around peace?
Yeah, thank you, Jim. So, like, I really likes what Maryam just said. Like, working for Masterpeace or advocating for peace or being a change maker it's not what only you feel, but it's like what you're giving to someone else. So when you feel that and you see you are doing something that is actually making someone smile, inspiring someone, or at least contributing to some extent, and then that gives the motivation, the inspiration to tackle all the challenges you face as an individual and as a society or in any way, right? So you always need to find that extra motivation, the extra step that takes you to next step, because the first thing, the difficult thing is to take a step. But when you find the motivation to take that first step, that leads to next and next. So that's the thing that I have been always believing. So I have faith in myself. So I'm surrounded by Maryam, Raghda, we have Edward, and also like Jim. So those people are giving me extra mission because we all are working for the same cause. So that next step, they are encouraging me to take one, and I'm doing all my efforts to take next, and automatically one step brings another. So it's one at a time, but in a long journey, it brings big hope. So yeah, that's what I think, Jim.
Yeah, thank you. What you were saying, Ashwini, reminds me of what Eleanor Roosevelt said about failure. There is no such thing as failure, she said. It's just a question of whether you're going to give up or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think about that in terms of ubiquity and humanity rising, and how many times you just look ahead and you think, how are we going to do this? And as you say, you just take the next natural step.
Yeah.
Somehow the spirit guides, and here we are. We're still here. So it's very profound what you're saying. Edward, what would be your comment?
Honestly, I feel like I feel an immense position of privilege, but also listening and reflecting on the question. I genuinely don't feel that I have been in an environment in life up until now where I've had persistent threats to my peace. And for that, I think my work and what I'm trying to look to do is learn how to manage that as well, with being part of a global community and even a local community. My girlfriend has to manage, racism and discrimination on a day-to-day basis from where she's from and religion, etc. And so at least my relationship with it, I suppose, I'm trying to carve out spaces to listen with an open heart, an open mind, and try to be quiet at points when I actually feel like I need to learn and experience others' experience. So yeah, that's what really resonates for me.
Well, I think you're making a very insightful point that if you come from privilege, it's good to just listen and be open to the perspectives of those who are far more challenged than you are. I think it's through the listening that we call up out of ourselves a deep empathy for the suffering of others, and that motivates us with the compassion we need to keep going. Remember, it was Leon Trotsky that says, revolution really happens when the privileged become traitors to their class. They become so motivated by the revolutionary fervor, they're willing to give up the privilege and just go to the front lines and join in that sacrificial act of risking loss and even death for what they believe to be true. So you're speaking very powerfully along with the others. So I just want to acknowledge that as well. So, well, thank you all. This has been very powerful. There's nothing quite as profound as honoring an International Day of Peace with the aspirational strength and wisdom, and I would say humility that you have shared with us today. And I know there was some technical glitches, everyone, but it was all perfectly done during the rehearsal right before the show. So sometimes, as we say, Zoom happens. And that's just the way it is. And ultimately the spirit prevailed, and we made it through. And so I'd like to just end with Ringo's call for all of us, since the Beatles, sang so powerfully in the 60s and 70s and culminated on that rooftop concert. It's all about peace and love. And what a world it would be, as he said, if the whole world at the same time could say together, peace and love. That's what we're here for. And I thank you all very deeply for bringing that to our attention on this very, very special day. And Raghda, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Maryam, Ashwini, Edward, deeply appreciative. So that does it for us for today, everyone. You're welcome to the after session chat. You'll see it, the link in the chat box. And let us just go through this day knowing that there's these incredible sky concerts going on all over. And they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts to remind all of us that it's all about peace and love. And that brings me, Raghda, if you could just lead us for just a minute in your heart, that'd be a nice way to close.
Thanks, Jim. And let's all do together, beating as one. Again, place it on your heart, your left hand, and just join.
Beautiful.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye, everyone.